Page layout. Now, CSS allows web developers to control the layout, styling and formatting of web pages, including elements such as fonts, colors, margins and borders, right? So CSS, we can have basically two types of layouts, right? Fluid, flexible layout means in CSS, the layout where this we can actually width and height of the page elements can be adjusted dynamically based on the size of the viewport, right? So this type of layout is commonly used in responsive web design, where the goal is to create website that adapts to the different devices and screen sizes, right? Whereas the fixed layout in CSS refers to the layout where the width and the height of the page elements are fixed, right? And the content does not adjust dynamically based on the size of the viewport, right? So this type of layout is commonly used for print publications, where the page layout needs to be consistent across the pages, right? But sometimes fixed layout can also be used in web design, particularly for sites with a specific target audiences, like such as corporate or educational websites, right? So usually normally we actually typically avoid the fixed layout formats, right? We usually use liquid or fluid layout format. So in CSS 2.1, a box or the element or the box may be laid out according to three schemes. Okay? Normal flow, this is the default browser display, how the browser will display the elements, one element after another element, right? If it is a block level element, it will actually display vertically from top to bottom, but if it's an inline element, it will horizontally from left to right, inside the block level element. So that's the normal flow. Float means we can, in a float model, we can shift the box, right? We can shift the box either to the left or right as far as possible, and then the content may wrap around the floated box, right? Now the positioning, in the positioning model, box is removed from the normal flow entirely, and it has no impact on the siblings of that particular element, and it's assigned a position with respect to its containing block. So that's what they mean by that positioning means. You can actually float the elements left or right using float property. Now this property will set the element to float against the parent border. Other block positions are unaffected, so you can set it to left or right, okay? Or otherwise you can make it clear. Clear property lets you position the elements clear from other floated elements, right? For example, if I want to make sure that the next intro paragraph is clear both left and right, so I can say, okay, the other floated elements, I can say, okay, I want to clear both sides, right? Clear both. Sometimes, so for example, in here you can see I have a bunch of paragraphs and maybe an image here, and then there are some space here, unwasted space. So I want maybe this paragraph fill in this area, so I can utilize the space. So I can say float, so this image float right, so then the contents of this particular element can be take up the space. Now when it comes to the page layout, floating actually try to apply the floating into the wrapper elements like nav or article or sites, right? For example, you can say, okay, all your box elements or wrapper elements like nav, article, site, um, set of make it float, right? um, or make it float left, so you can have three kind of column web page. um, then you have header and then three column page because you float it left, and then the footer. So this is fluid float example. So you can see the article, nav and side, of these three wrapper elements I floated left, and then I can specify the width, different widths. You can say the nav and the side width are same 25%, but the article width is 50% of browser window, float left, but the footer, I want the whole height and the header whole height, and then I make it clear, clear the both sides. So then what will happen is, when I resize, if I put the clear both, if I resize the window, or resize the browser window, you can see that it will not actually jump and make it a bit messy, right? So it will adapt the size accordingly. So that's what you will make clear board means. So you can actually display your columns or wrapper elements like table cell means. So display table cell also give same kind of effect, like before. Okay, so that, but this is a preferred way rather than using table cell way.